Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video doing the EC 30-day look ahead for UK and for the rest of Europe as well. So this is the extended European outlook as always on a Tuesday, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video today was a 6 AM upload, and we've got 10 to 14 day coming up for you later on today as well. Please like, share, subscribe on those videos, and thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, so let's have a look at the EC extended then. We're going to start off with week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly, taking us from the 6th to the 13th of February. So high pressure will be dominating across much of Europe in the weekend, especially centred across western parts of Europe. There is some low pressure in the far north. It'll be very mild, I think, up the western side of Europe. We'll bring up wind from a southwesterly direction. Could be colder, though, in the east and in the northeast. That will include Turkey, where, of course, we've had that devastating earthquake, so the cold temperatures are not going to help, with the rescue efforts. The 500 millibar height anomaly shows this up even better, with above average heights again extending in from the Atlantic into much of northern and western Europe. At the same time, we've got this trough of below average heights in the far southeastern corner. That's a cold trough, cold air digging down from Russia into eastern parts of the Med, Greece, Turkey are included in that, unfortunately. So it doesn't look all that good, I'm afraid, over there for the rescue effort. These are the temperature anomalies, and you see the coldest temperatures are over here in the eastern part of Europe, especially, I'm afraid, centred through Turkey, actually. So it's not good news for the people there, I'm afraid. Greece also looking quite cold as well, as does the Balkans. Balkans of the Black Sea having below average temperatures. In fact, most of southern Europe has cold and average temperatures in the weekend. Italy comes out cold, normal. Much of the central part of the Med comes out cold, even back to Spain and Portugal and up into France. We have some quite cold weather through there, and this extends northwards into northern parts of Germany and into southern parts of Germany, I should say, and southern parts of Poland as well, and over into the Ukraine too. Now, north of that, it gets milder, so just into the far southeast of England and through the Low Countries, it's a little bit cool, but to the north, anywhere to the north, that generally a mild week to come. So that is particularly for Scotland and Ireland, and also especially for Scandinavia and the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia and Lithuania. Finland included in these mild temperatures as well, being quite a mild winter, I think, through there. As far as the precipitation is concerned, it looks like this. So southern Europe looks a little bit wet through the Mediterranean. Could be some heavy showers, thunderstorms and longer spells of rain there from eastern parts of Spain over towards Corsica and Sardinia, possibly extending southwards towards Malta as well. A little bit on the wet side through southern parts of Spain and Portugal. Meanwhile, going further north, though, significantly drier than normal across much of Western Europe, so particularly France, UK, Ireland, again the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, many parts of Germany, up into southern portions of Scandinavia, Denmark and Sweden, and also southern parts of Norway, looking generally quite dry for those areas. Other parts of Norway, though, quite wet. That will be a mix of rain and snow over mountainous areas. And then into southeastern corner, the Balkans, around the Adriatic, into the Balkans, over towards the Black Sea, generally drier than north there. Romania looking quite dry too. However, when we come further southwards, it does look as though it turns a bit wetter. Of course, as it's cold, some of that won't only be rain, it will be snow through parts of Turkey, particularly eastern portions of Turkey. I think Greece looking rather on the dry and cold side. It's northeastern corner, looking pretty dry through those areas too, to be honest. Week 2 will be the 13th to the 20th of February, and high pressure then centering around Italy, low pressure deepening across the northern part of Europe. Most areas under the influence of high pressure. It looks like it's turning more unsettled for the far north and northwest. The 500 millibar height anomaly shows this up as well. So you see how the below average heights deepen from Greenland into northern parts of Scandinavia. Meanwhile, most areas still under the ridge of above average heights covering much of Europe. The temperature anomaly looks like that's still rather on the cold side. It's extreme southeastern corner. Again, Greece, Turkey, particularly Turkey, focusing on colder than average temperatures. This does extend into parts of the Middle East as well, by the way. However, most parts of Europe looking very mild once again, so substantially above average temperatures right way from Ireland, UK, Portugal in the far west, all the way over to Russia in the east. Scandinavia and Baltic Sea regions again looking really mild, as much of the Low Country, Germany, Poland, over to Ukraine, looking very mild through those areas too, with temperature at knowledge around 3 to 6 degrees above normal. Much of the Med becomes milder as well, so after a cold week 1, week 2 starts to turn milder through the central and western bowl of the Mediterranean. It's just really in this eastern part of the Med, through Greece and Turkey, that it remains pretty cold. And the precipitation anomaly turns wetter across the northern parts of Europe. That includes some parts of Scotland as well. So Scotland turns wetter, as does much of Scandinavia and the northeast too, with those areas of low pressure coming in from the Atlantic and the Norwegian Sea. However, most places are still pretty dry under that area of high pressure, particularly so through the southern portions of Europe, so from Spain, Portugal, right way over towards Greece, and all points in between, most places coming out drier than normal in week 2. Week 3 will be the 20th, 27th of February. High pressure beginning to break down now. So some of the high pressure is going over towards the eastern side or southeastern side of Europe, some of it pulling out into the Atlantic, with low pressure in the northern part of the Atlantic and into northern Europe. We might be starting to pull in a little bit more of a northwest southeast alignment to the jet stream, which could start to turn some of these northwestern parts of Europe a little bit colder. Same time, the southeastern corner of Europe might start to turn a bit milder, with winds beginning to push up from the south and air originating perhaps from North Africa. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that, so plenty of below average heights to the north, above average heights to the south, extending through something a little bit like that. The temperature anomaly looks like this, so still hanging on to those cold temperatures in the extremes of in Southeast Europe. They are fading out, but they're still there to some degree. Greece is turning milder. Turkey could still be quite cold. Becoming a little bit cooler in the far west, perhaps. Maybe UK is a bit above average, but Ireland, France, Spain, Portugal look like they're turning a bit cooler. Still very mild across northern, eastern and northeastern portions of Europe, but exceptionally mild conditions carry on through there. And as far as the precipitation anomaly is concerned, we find that it's drier than average from the Black Sea down into the southeastern corner, also around Spain and Portugal, drier than all through there. Wetter though through Scandinavia and again through the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania, and probably turning more unsettled for UK and Ireland as well. But you have this large white area that really has no signal, but I would have thought like northern and western portions there will probably be turning wetter, while southern and eastern portions in this white area are probably going to be reasonably dry. So gradually turn more unsettled in the north and west, I think. Week 4 will be the 27th of February to the 6th of March. With low pressure in the North Atlantic to the west of UK and Ireland, a little bit of high pressure over toward the Baltic Sea, perhaps otherwise quite a weak signal. 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. So below average heights, low pressure in the Atlantic to the west of Ireland and the UK, above average heights over on the eastern, northeastern side of Europe. Let's have a look at the temperature anomaly, see what that's doing. So still above average in many areas, particularly over on the eastern and northeastern side of Europe, exceptionally mild February around those Baltic Sea states, and like in the far northeast Europe, we could be looking at a record breaker if this is right. Meanwhile, things look like they're cooling down a little bit across these western areas, returning closer to average or no signal for the UK through Ireland, through Spain and into Portugal. Also into central bowl of the Med. Eastern Med looks milder, so becoming milder from Italy over the Adriatic into the Balkans, down to Greece and Turkey. Perhaps seeing the temperature lifting up through there. And precipitation looks like this. So it is a weakening signal, as ever, for precipitation the further out we go. However, it looks rather on the dry side in the extreme eastern part of Europe and a little bit wetter out in the western part of Europe. Otherwise, there's not much of a signal. Right, that's your 30-day look here, but let's go through weeks 5 and 6 data before we go, because why not? The charts are there, so might as well have a look. So this is week 5, mean surface pressure anomaly from the 6th to the 13th of March. Here we go. A bit of a change in this week. It looks like we've got some low pressure setting up across southern parts of Europe and some higher pressure building towards Iceland and also into the north of Scandinavia. That will try and get wind into the east across the far northern part of Europe, taking in combination with that low pressure to the south perhaps. What's the 500 millibar height anomaly doing? Again, signalling above average heights, blocking terminal. Could this be in response to potential stratospheric warming developments and below average heights through there? You would think that, like northern Europe, could be going into a bit of an easterly flow. Then the temperature anomaly still milder than average across many northern eastern parts of Europe, cooling down though, returning closer to average, though no sign of being particularly cold at the western side of Europe. And the precipitation anomaly, you can see where the blocking is starting to set up around Iceland towards Scandinavia. Meanwhile, southern Europe under the low pressure beginning to look a bit wetter. And then into week 6, which is the 13th to the 20th of March, which is how things are looking. Again, same sort of setup, high pressure there within the high latitudes from Scandinavia over towards Iceland, lower pressure across much of Europe actually. Let's just change that over to the North Pole view. So that is how the mean surface pressure looks from the North Pole view. Again, you can see there is high pressure there within the high latitudes. Blocking might be a response to potential SSW developments. Lower pressure through here. However, 500 millibar heights looking from the Arctic and North Pole view. Again, we can see that we've got above average heights, high pressure blocking within the high latitudes, below average heights somewhere to the south of the UK and Ireland. Could that get wind into the east and the northeast across northern and central parts of Europe? Temperature anomalies. See how the warmth gradually fades away. Not going to be anything particularly cold yet, because this is weeks 5 and 6. So that far out the model will usually not forecast anything cold. But you see how the warmth is gradually fading away and becoming more centered in the far east, southeast of Europe. Probably by this point it's getting colder across those northern and western portions of Europe. And the precipitation anomaly finally, again, we can see that it's drier than normal from Iceland towards Scandinavia, a little bit wetter than normal to the south of that across those western parts of Europe. You see how it's wetter towards the east coast of England, for example. That could be indicative of easterly winds bringing showers, possibly snow, onto the eastern side of the UK. This is 6 weeks away, so it's a very, very long way out, but it is a kind of time frame that you'd be expecting to see a response to any potential southern stratospheric warming. So as we go through March, we probably see a change to something colder, but of course that is beyond the 30-day forecast time frame, so we'll have more on that, in the next week or two. Right, that's it for your 30-day / 42-day extended European outlook. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe, and we'll do it all over again next Tuesday. We will look at this model again on Saturday morning with a UK and Ireland focus, but the next wide European outlook with this EC extended model will be on Tuesday next week. We're going to be back later on for 10 to 14 day. That will include all of our regular features. Come back for that then for this week's EC 30-day forecast for the UK and the rest of Europe too. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.